Hey y'all, come on in, come on in. Tell me something good. Down, down. I got some tuna, but I don't have no onion and celery. My bumblebee. Da 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 da, da da da, da da. I got the extra onion in here. Potatoes. Hey y'all, I'm gonna have to put a phone call in because I want to make me some tuna fish. I don't taste that well, but I want some tuna fish. I am still healing from this crap. I feel the nasal going away. I'm still foggy, but I wanted some tuna fish. Now, I buy my tuna fish in water. I don't know about y'all, but also I want to tell y'all know how easy it is to grow your own potatoes. Honey, tell me something good. Did y'all know these potatoes that I got to get ready to cook because they starting to bud? I know. Willie, my cousin, the one I told you about, her mother-in-law passed away. And she called for some food. About me catering them some food. Which I told her, now, I've been sick. These right here can start you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And if I wait another week, probably I can get a good 5 potatoes off of this one button potato. And you can start them in the house if you want to. But they gonna need sunlight. So basically, you just take this potato, which I don't have no onions, but I'm gonna peel them. But you take this potato and you let it dry out. That's why I say you can start it in the house. When you shaving it like you peeling it, you don't need the whole potato, you just need to peel it. But leave a little of the potato on it, right? Then you let it dry out. And then you get you some planting soil. And you barely cover it. You don't have to deep bury it or nothing. And it's going to eventually sink in and you'll start to see little green spigot sprouts. That means that's a new potato growing off of this bud. When we grew up, we used to say, have you ever seen a tomato grow on a sweet potato vine? Now, it's going to eventually embed itself in the dirt, right? Because that's what it does. And you want to keep it where it's sunlight. You want to keep it. My granddaddy was a farmer. And you want to keep it where the sun will be hitting it. And then keep it watered. And you don't have to water it as much. And because it's going to eventually produce potatoes. And then you can go out and you can dig those potatoes out the dirt because they're going to be inside the dirt, right? And that's how you can start your potatoes. With so much going on in the world, food shortages, you say these potatoes ain't no good. I'm telling you, they ain't even soft yet. But these potatoes are budded. And what that means is, this is a whole root. This is a root. And you take this root and you put it in some soil and you can grow your own potatoes. Now, those are russet potatoes, but you can, if they bud, you can put any of them in there. Now, this week we've got weather that is going to be in the 70s. It's going to end up to be about around 69, 70 degrees. It's like 60, I think it's about 65, 66 degrees today. And we can't tell one season from the next. That's just the Bible fulfilling itself. And I need a haircut, so I know I got a little short, little mini ribbon. I know I got a little short. I stumbled on a photograph. I thought I had forgot the past, but now I'm slipping fast. Hey, back down memory lane. So I got one of them little memory lane, little 1970 Florida Evans haircut. So I look just like Florida, waiting on James to come through the door, and Avery is Penny. So remember, it's time to get busy. I mean, there's nothing wrong with being a pioneer woman or a man. Jimette Alexander tells me all the time, she said, Tracey, I want your watermelon seed. Especially that year we had orange meat. And I was in so much pain that I had dried them out for her, but I could never get them mailed off. So, yeah, I look like Florida. Shut up, Dean Calvin. I look like Florida Evans. And I need a haircut because tomorrow I get injections. But I don't know. I just gonna have to keep looking like little Minnie Riperton. Cause it's so good. Dun, 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 dun. Hey, loving somebody when somebody loves you back. And that's a fact. It's so good. Needing somebody when somebody needs you back. Oh, to be loved, dun, 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 and be loved in return. It's the only thing my heart desires. I appreciate everything you do. Oh, you're the ones that's got me encouraged. Keep on lifting me higher. So good. Loving somebody when somebody loves you back. That's a fact. It's so good, good. Needing somebody when somebody needs you back. Yeah. So I just thought I'd tell y'all that about the potato. You did. All right, San. Congratulations, beautiful. San said she won a cake from Willie last night. To be loved, dun, 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 and be loved in return. It's the only thing my heart desires. I appreciate the little things you do. Oh, you're the ones that's got me inspired. Keep on lifting me higher. So good. I'm not talking about 74, 60, 30, 50, 50 love. Listen, I'm just halfway waking up. I don't have no appetite. I know I had COVID. I don't care what they say. And I want some tuna fish, but I don't have no relish. I mean, I got relish. I don't have no celery now.
Miss Hooker got me the whole.
You can't have Miss Tammy no more. She gone. I deal with it. Just wash your hands. Get that sticky off of it. Other than that, how was school today?
I got good.
You want to come tell the people, hey, tall girl?
Yeah.
Avery don't like to be on here no more. And I don't force her. I hate it, but all that foolishness and carrying on. And when people was doing all that kind of stuff and calling the sheriff, she just don't like it. And I be wanting y'all to see how she's getting, how tall and stuff she getting, but
still,
I got it. I done talked to you. We done talked about it. Your food is in the dining room. Can you just let the people hear your voice? Tell them, hey.
Hello.
That's all y'all gonna get.
Dad, you didn't call Miss Taylor to come back.
Avery, I told you I'm on live. Now let it go. The bus driver
I'll
just,
call you.
yeah,
That bus driver, done.
Eddie, tell him I need some, Eddie, can you give me some celery and onions and mayo? I was gonna make me some tuna fish. And probably some bell pepper, mixed color. You don't eat macaroni salad, do you? I was gonna make me some tuna fish. Here at work. I be talking to him through the speakers. My husband watches me all day long. Ain't no privacy. He watches me all day. All day. Well, anyway, I come on here to say, tell me something good. I want y'all to tell me something good. You know, so many times I am very, I try to be very respectful, but I am very resourceful. In other words, I do my research on stuff, and I can't cook every day, right? I can teach, I can enlighten you, but at this point, we're not going to make everybody happy. And if we do, we'll lose ourselves. Just like me telling you about this, and explaining to you. And then some people's notifications are going to go slow. And I know they're going to go slow. I know a lot of people's notifications are going to go slow. It takes me a minute to build up to 300 and 400. You know why? Because when you talk about certain things, they don't want to keep you in algorithm. And at this point, I really don't care. Y'all get what I'm saying? I'm going to talk to who I'm going to talk to. You put minced, I don't put the minced tomatoes, the diced pimentos in mine. I don't find no need for them. What? I used to sing this song to myself all the time, and my grandmother, and she said, why do you say that? And this song is Tell Me Something Good. It didn't have any other words to go with it. Yeah, it does. Tell Me Something Good is a whole song. Tell me something good, bum, bum. Tell me that you love me, yes.
Mom, say what you want.
Celery and onions.
Celery and onions.
Mayo.
Mayo.
Duke's mayonnaise.
Duke's mayonnaise.
And some bell peppers.
And some bell. Is that all?
I'm making me some tuna fish.
Is that all?
And some eggs, because I was going to make some tuna.
That's not how I act you.
I tell them I was just going to make me some tuna fish. If we got a couple of eggs, I don't see them.
Tuna fish, Daddy. Spell tuna fish. Spell
But yeah, Tell Me Something Good got the whole word.
Mom, say
It says celery,
celery,
onions,
some
bell pepper,
bell peppers,
some mayonnaise, and egg.
and eggs.
I'm going to make me some tuna fish. I already got the tuna.
You gonna make that tuna fish? Then you don't got to.
Well, I had a taste. I could find something else to eat. Tell Me Something Good by Shaka Khan got a whole lot of words. Tell me something good, bum bum. Tell me that you love me, yeah. You ain't got no kind of feelings inside. Yeah. That's it. I don't need nothing else. I don't have no appetite. You know, Shaka Khan, a lot of her songs was about other people's men. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, sweet thing. Don't you know you're my everything? Oh, sweet thing. Don't you know you're my everything? She sung about a lot of people being. Oh, I ain't gonna buy no eggs. That's why I told him it might be a couple of eggs over there. I haven't been eating no eggs. And if I have to bake a cake, they're gonna have to purchase some. Especially if I'm gonna donate something. Like if my cousin wanted me to bake her a couple of cakes, she'd have to go get it.
She gonna have to get some chicken tenders too.
I just can't do it. I feel like, just like I told y'all about these potatoes, I have to find a local farmer. And I have to find somebody with chicken houses. And I have to go and purchase me some chicken, some eggs. Just like I can grow my own potatoes. If potatoes get crazy, just get your bag and let them bub. And these are roots and these are potatoes. See? 1, 2. And you shave it. Like you shave that. That's 1. You shave right here. That's 2. You shave on top. That's 3. And that's 4. And you really could get 5 out of here. This one's got 1 bulb on it. So you can only get 1 potato. And these are potatoes that I'm going to cook. I'm going to show you how strong the bulb will keep going. See? Look. That's got 1, 2, 3, 4 on it. 1, 2. So they're going to come out like that. But this is ready to be planted. You shave the top of it off. And go on and fry the rest of them up with some onions. You go ahead and shave this up with some fried potatoes and onions. I remember when we were growing up, sometimes my mama couldn't cook nothing but some fatback, butter beans, fried potatoes and onions and biscuits. And the fatback was our meat. You see what I'm saying? So we know how to survive now. How to survive in South Central. Rule number 1. Don't trust nobody, especially a big arm girl that know how to survive. If you want to survive, you better get you a friend. You can trust me though. But like honestly, we're going to have to pioneer. You got land. Go buy you some pots before they go up on them. You can start these off in a nice size pot. Don't get one too small. And you will start growing. And it'll be exciting to you. We talk about different remedies and medications and stuff for heartburn. We talked about the uses of onions, how you can get onions, purple onions, and you let them sit and they produce their own liquid and you add honey in it. And now you got something for acid reflux. So we can do it. So I'm not, I don't know. But Avery, I told you to let me finish my live before you started that sucker on the bus stuff. Can you please turn your volume down so everybody don't hear your business? Ain't nothing you gonna do about it. Trust Big Stanky. Yes, Big Stanky. But Rosemary Turner, I was knocked out when you called me. Willie, I was asleep. If you look at my eyes, you can tell I've been asleep all day. I got up at 6 something and I went back to bed. I'm letting my body heal itself. I just got out the shower. Yeah, we know eggs are going to be high. They blaming them on the bird flu. But I have a lot of people that don't understand that we can make it. We are survivors. And we're not going to give up. We are survivors. And it don't hurt you to learn how to do something. Even if you can't walk, you can get your grandkids, the ones you love so much, and get out your check. Go to the store. Go to Home Depot or Lowe's and get you a big pot and get you some potting soil. Also, when you get done doing it and shaving it and putting it on top at first so the sun can get it, you got to let it dry out. Then you can turn around and put it on your porch somewhere where it can get direct sunlight. And it ain't going to hurt them to come over there and pour a bottle of water over your potatoes. And before you know it, you're going to have you some potatoes and you're going to have to go to the store. You don't, okay? Same way with heartburn and stuff. You can make something for heartburn. You can take purple onions and put them in a jar and sit them in the windowsill. And they're going to start producing water. Onions and stuff like that, they produce liquid. And then when it does, add you some raw honey in it. And take your spoonful full of it for heartburn. We know how to survive. America knows how to survive. If you have cultivated a whole country and build it up from cowboy and Indian days, we know how to survive. And the same thing, you can do it. You can produce off of anything. You know, if it's a bulb on it, you can produce. You can go over and get the end of a rutabaga. You can get the end of arugula. You can get the end of collard greens, turnip greens, and you can replant them. You can reproduce off of stuff. See, that's the good thing about what God really makes. It reproduces itself. Let me tell you something. I said our 3 things would be focused, to be faithful, and fruitful. And one thing about some stuff you can't do it with, but there's some things, man-made stuff you can't. You know, it's just the same thing. You get out there and cauliflower and broccoli. It just is what it is. When you pick it, it's done. But it's something about stuff that reproduces itself. Sometimes a bud will fall in the ground and you don't even know it. And you said you weren't even going to harvest potatoes this year. Next thing you know, you turning over the soil and all these potatoes still in the ground. Because they going to regrow themselves. They reproducing off themselves. That's why I know that we were supposed to be fruitful and multiply. Because good things are fruitful. You can go right now and scavenge a whole happy birthday, Pamela Botts. When I feel better, I got you. But right now, baby, I just been down. And this stuff lasts 3 weeks. And then tomorrow I get injections and go on bed rest. But today is a special day. It is a day that everything will go your way. Today is the day that you were born. It's your birthday, Pamela. You got it going on. It's your birthday. It's your birthday. What you gonna do today for your birthday? Go out to eat today on your birthday. Do what you wanna do. It's your birthday. I just came to say happy birthday.
Today is my friend's birthday.
All right.
She turned 11.
All right, baby girl. Yes, and it's good. You can make your own stuff, and stuff will grow up off. You can go right now and you say, honey, I ain't got no more collard greens. Next thing you look out there, and it's some more collard greens coming up out the ground. It's some more turnip greens. It's some more mustard greens coming up out that ground. Same way, you can go get an elephant ear from somebody. Just get one bud, put it in the ground. Now you got 13, 11 elephant ears. That's how I got mine. I used to go around with my mama and she get buds from people. Give me a pinch of that. Give me a pinch of that rosebud. Give me a pinch of that one. Oh, I want a pinch of that snowball tree. Give me this. And the next thing you know, mama yard is beautiful. She got this and she'll tell you, oh, I got this from such and such. Just like my elephant ears came, God rest her soul, came from my cousin's wife, Brenda Lisby. Over 30 years ago, 31 years ago. And I kept it. And I put it in she gave it to me wrapped in a wet paper towel. And then I got a mason jar with water and put it in there. And I saw the roots coming out. And then I took it out and planted it in my yard. So we get the understanding that we don't have to be wasteful. We just choose to be wasteful. You don't have to throw these potatoes away. First of all, they're not soft yet, so they're cookable. The next thing is they producing. They giving even more off of what's already here. So they giving life off of the skin if you just peel it and put it in some soil and keep it in sunlight. Now, it has to have sunlight, so you can't put it under no shade tree because the bulbs, they can die, I wanted y'all to tell me something good. Can't hear you, you have to go out and come back in. I'm telling y'all this much. I'm tired of arguing with people. And that's taking the joy out of coming on here. Because sometimes it's such, I be so at peace in my own world. And then, to have to keep fooling around and with people and you don't get no joy out of it. Or people inserting themselves, in your world and you're not getting no more joy out of what you're doing. That becomes a very difficult thing. I'm grateful, but it becomes hard. Y'all understand what I'm saying? I want to be able to talk, and I want to be able to talk about a lot of things. I want to be able to cook sometimes. but I'm not going to cook all the time. It's just not feasible. And on top of that, I'm not Chef Bar RD. You know, I'm not even in culinary anything like that. I bake because I love to. And I cook because I love to. And I have to. But times are shifting and times are built on swift transitions, honey. And you got to shift. Because it won't do me no good to go to the store and cook a heaping amount of food, and who gonna eat it? Who gonna eat it? If I tell y'all a Black History moment, a lot of my people that are Republicans get scared and run away. They ain't even on here right now because they mad from yesterday's live about what's going on, and you know, they don't want nobody to know the truth, and then they'll start going over there when you mention 45, 47, they go get a heaping of people to come over here and pick at you. But so many things in Black history got to be taught, and it's got to be taught. I know he's trying to take it away. That's why I keep telling y'all it's for us to do it 365 days a year. You gotta teach Black history, and you gotta teach your kids the truth. It's your heritage. Some of us from the South, we just 5 generations from slavery. If you grew up in the South and they got pregnant so early, you knew your great-great-great-grandmama. You called them great-grands. Because they wasn't just your great-grandmama, they was your great-great. Some of us grew up hearing the close descendants like, oh, that was my great-grandmama's father. He was a sharecropper. And he was over here. Oh, we got our name from him. The Johnson name is a slave name. That's my mama's name. And they migrated from down there in Eufaula, Mississippi. And how when they come up here, they live together. You know what I'm saying? They survived together. And my great-grandma ran a grocery store. Like a pickaninny store. You pick up something here and you pick up something there. And folk will come through and get their stuff. Just like eating out. And you ate in people's houses. Folks had restaurants in their houses. Hey, say! Folks had restaurants in their houses. Just the same way. If you have y'all ever watched Ray Charles' story? They ate in the house. They ate and they had bed and breakfast. So they had their you saw me cooking salmon and shrimp and pasta. I know I saw on a video cook dinner in my kitchen, salmon, shrimp, and lobster. Oh no, you can forget that. I ain't even a seafood person. I don't do lobster. I've never cooked a lobster on my page. I've cooked some crab legs, but I think lobster is rubbery and I don't like it. I ain't gonna sit around and tell y'all the truth. Even down to crab legs. When I sit down to eat my dinner, I don't want to fool around cracking something up all day long and dipping it in butter. And my rest of my food is getting cold because I'm sitting here, gotta constantly wrestle to get some meat out. I didn't grow up that way. So let me get back to what I was talking about. Yeah, so people did hair. They had back rooms. They cooked. And people would drop off their laundry at your house. People would drop off stuff to be buffed and clean. People would, they did a lot of stuff. You did laundry for people. You go pick it up and return it back if you didn't do it at their house. I ain't gonna eat it. That's one thing you gotta worry about. Tracey money going on no crab legs. I ain't gonna eat that. I don't crave it. Nope. I don't like bottom feeders like that. You can give me a piece of shrimp if you want to. I'm a fish eater. Like, I like this tuna fish. And like, if I should have told Eddie to bring me some fish home. I just would have fried me a piece of whiting and put me some mustard and hot sauce on it and some mayonnaise on the bread, and it would have been a fish sandwich. Yes, they did. They did sewing. They did tailoring and stuff. And so I remember when folks would prep, just get people's stuff together, soak their beans and do all that different stuff. If y'all really want to get into it, yeah, now I'm more up. See, y'all gotta understand this is where people live. Everybody in Georgia don't live near the water. I'm Northwest Georgia. I want you to understand. I'm going up toward the mountains. So we had low country boils. A low country boil is just some potatoes and some sausage, some Polish sausage, and some corn and shrimp. That's it. Crab legs, no. And I realized too, now people from Maine and people from Baltimore and all of those places, yes, they grew up vividly. Florida, down in the Florida Keys, they grew up. That's a part of their meat source. We are all the cow you can have, the cow tongue, the cow head, the pig head, everything. And I would never do hair. I didn't do hair inside my house, but I did build that building back there and do it. I just didn't like to do hair in my house. I didn't like people in my house, and I didn't want hair to travel in my kitchen. But I know when I grew up, I used to go to people's houses, and they would press hair in their kitchens and stuff. I never did. When I did hair for 30 years, but I would never do it in my own kitchen. I built that building out back. But a lot of people like that grew up with seafood. We didn't. Right? So if anybody from they know what I'm talking about. If you living up in West Virginia, you living up in the mountains, you're in the mountains of Georgia, in the mountains of Tennessee, you're not going to Nashville for a low country boil. You're not going to Clarksville for that. You want butter beans and cornbread. Right? There's a restaurant up in Pigeon Forge. When you go sit down to eat, they give you butter beans or white beans, sliced tomatoes and onions, and cornbread. I think it's called Billy Bob's or something like that. But I feel like right now, that's just another prime example of testing you, because crab legs and stuff used to be cheap. And especially like folks that live around water, they go catch they blue crabs. Now, that's one thing I don't understand. When Willie be cracking up over some blue crabs and he get this much meat out of them, I think it's just a traditional thing. Because they just bite the shell until they get that tiny little piece of meat out. And I done tried it, and they done dipped it in all kind of butter, and it didn't melt in my mouth. I don't know. I'm too old, I guess, want to care. I'm just not going to spend that much money on a cluster of nothing. I'm not. Don't make it wrong. This is called Tell Me Something Good. I don't have the final say. I'm glad you feeling better too, Maricia Smith, and thank you for following me on TikTok. I saw that you follow me now. But see, that's what I'm saying. People love you. Should love a Mother Joyce. You from an area. You below sea level. You's a crab yourself. You down there in New Orleans, honey. You know, love. You ought to eat all the seafood in the world. Of course you crab in Texas and Louisiana. Of course so. But me and Demontre, now Demontre, he down there by the Gulf. But if you in New Orleans, I expect for you to love it. I ain't nothing wrong with it, baby. Just like how y'all put Cajun seasoning on everything, baby. Even y'all greens, baby, they spicy. Everything y'all cook is spicy, baby. But what they costing right now, they got to be something. Just like, okay, let me give you an example. You see how they are pricing y'all stuff up so high on the little crabs and stuff? They doing that to us with beef. Baby, short ribs and oxtails is so high. You got to wait and tell people, look, only so many people eating this. Can't cook them for everybody. But go around the other way, you don't want them to see you. She don't want nobody to see her, y'all. She don't want y'all to see her. It's your choice. Clean your spot off now. I ain't seen you pick one paper towel up and no wipe. I don't never crave them. You don't miss what you never had. Now, I like mussels. I do like mussels. It's a restaurant called Marietta Diner. And when I go down there, I like the broth that's on the mussels. I eat them. But if they go too high, I ain't going to eat that. Oh, I don't eat seafood. So I already know about mercury. I already know about mercury. So, yeah. I have, yeah, you have to be careful. There's a lot of people do mukbangs and they eat a lot of seafood because it's low. You know, it's those low carbs, and you can lose weight eating the seafood like that. But you have to be careful because you can get mercury, and you can get very sick. And you know, like anything else, you got to lay off of red meat too. You got to be careful eating. So my husband loves red meat, but I tell him all the time, you better lay off of it before you get gout. You're going to mess around and get gout. And I'll be telling him you better stay off of certain things. Give yourself a break from it. Just like right now, I might want some chicken, but I haven't been messing with none. You know, because I feel like if the eggs is messed up from the bird flu, shouldn't the chickens be messed up too? Didn't the egg come out the chicken? So, like, I know our government is just not telling us the truth on stuff. And I know some of it is export, import. And I know we done messed up and these fields are overgrown and these workers. I saw a video, honey, this farmer wasn't playing. He got his shotgun and he got a lot of his workers. And he told them, ICE to get off his property. They had no right coming on his property, messing with his workers. And they told him he was from the United States government and it was an order. He said, I don't care what you say. You gonna get off my property. Baby, he was one of them back in the woods. He was back in the woods. And he told them, you gonna get off. You put one more foot up on this property. It's finna be a mud bath. I said, what? No, we don't see and don't see. You talking about when they say we see and we don't judge. No, we see. And we see. Yes, too much of anything is bad for you. Kiana. I feel like, especially down in Florida, when we was talking about how over there on the outside of Naples, Florida, which is very rich, all those illegals doing that field work. Yeah, he could keep them off the property. And they said that they were there for the government. And he told them to give him a search warrant, show him some paperwork. And they said they was going to come back with it. But he told them, and when you do not come on my property. He said, you stay outside that gate. I'll let you on my property. But that's as far as my property you coming on. You're not coming to those gates. And he said, you come back and show me you got a right to search my premises. But other than that, you're trespassing. And he had every right to have them removed because, see, they're coming randomly on a federal order. But remember, you got federal and you got state. and then you got your rights. Darlene, it'd be good seeing you too. I hope to meet you one day, Darlene Miller. And I pray that this thing with this real estate will stop but you ain't got to worry. You don't have to worry. Your husband got you. Hey, Shara, how you been? I'm getting there. I'm still fighting it. But you know what? I just go to bed and I just get in there and watch my TikTok when I get off. I have not watched. I don't watch. If Country Wayne, I go check on him. If Country Wayne don't do something soon, dragging this stuff out with Shayla, I'm done watching that. That's the only, and then I get off. And I go to TikTok world where everybody else at. And I watch stuff and I enjoy stuff. I like the comedy over there. I like the little bitty boy, the little white boy that's so intelligent, that's going to be a farmer one day. Jack tells you, well, we've got to sing it. Got rehearsal for Christmas. Why, you ain't smarter. You didn't even go to second grade. You can't make a two. I love Jack. And I like watching the different people over there and the different videos and the lives. I like to even see them battle over there. They give good gifts over there. Them people are becoming millionaires off of TikTok. Folks give them great money. They pay for the person they love to win. You got to give them gifts. Just like how y'all can give me stars, you have to give them gifts. Yeah, he a little Todd Chrisley. Well, I like Country Wayne, but I'm tired of watching him drag out this Shayla situation. There's too much going on. They got to pipe this down or he's going to have to get his own network because Mike is in everything right now. They got Mike jumping in everybody's scene. Mike running for his life because he done slept with this gangster's girlfriend. Mike over here going over Rolanda house and he done slept with Rolanda's stepson woman. Mike done been to visit Shayla. Mike is in on that because he wants to know who that baby is. Country Wayne, being who he is, should already know that is Anthony's child. If it ain't gonna be Anthony's child, then they need to find out what the mama did to the DNA. It's just it's too much right now. They messing with my attention deficit. So I just done gave myself a little break, right? Because when I say I don't watch nobody else, I don't. When I turn this live stream off, I go hook my phone up and I put it on the charger and I get this phone and I sit here and I start watching. Now they say if you got phones with TikTok, people want to buy them. Any devices with TikTok on them that they want to buy those, and they are paying like $20 and $30 and $50,000 for anything that got TikTok on it. But you know, TikTok is still got a 90 days by April. I don't know what they're gonna do with it. Honestly, I don't know what's gonna really become of it. Because I know China is not gonna fold. See, you can't do business with enemies. It's just too much business being done with our enemies. Like right now, they're trying to bring in post-Chicago. I feel sorry for Chicago. Chicago is going through. Chicago is going through with all those immigrants that was bust there. The mayor, the governor is trying to stop the things that the new administration is doing. And I am so upset with America. What make me mad is, how are you going to go hire somebody that's over here on a visa, Muskie, and let him try to run the United States when South Africa is against America because he got some money? You got billionaires in America. You could have went and asked some billionaires. You could have seen if Forbes could help us. You could have seen if Oprah, Jay-Z, it's one black man, he's worth $36 billion. You could have seen if you could have got your own people. What's making me so upset is that he wants to get everybody out of here, bring people in on visas from other countries, which is just going to be spies. And we are supposed to allow them to have all the rights because they're here on a visa. But South Africa wouldn't do that for us. You see what I'm saying? So that's very disappointing because you just can't keep getting in the bed with your enemy. You get in the bed with a snake, when it bites you, the snake gonna say, but you knew I was a snake. You know, and I don't know, but I can't keep letting nobody else do my homework. Eventually, I'm going to have to take the test. You can do online school, but eventually you're going to have to show up in person with your ID and registration to take that test. Or you're going to sit in front of a camera and be who is on that ID that they got and get that diploma. I just don't like that. And I don't like how he talks down to us and that South Africa is a part of BRICS. Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa, BRICS, makes BRICS. But I had told y'all last year why I did not buy from Temu and Shein. I told y'all that. I said they're cutting into our economy. I said that. I said it 2 years ago. But you know, it's so many prophets and prophetess that are speaking and telling the truth, but we are crazy, naive, foolish. Here come this church stuff. People are so quick to get on the church. Let me tell you something. That cussing pastor, he never represented. Yes, I think we should get passports because according to what they're saying that we're not going to be able to, after a while, get a passport. They're also saying that Europe is saying, if you don't have a visa, forget a passport. If you don't have a visa, you're not going to be able to come over to Europe and visit. But just like that cussing pastor, he don't represent the church. He represents himself. Because people that are elite and know who they are representing, which is Christ Jesus, they're not going to get somewhere and cuss and show out. That's just his flesh. So he was never representing us. But the first thing people do is say, y'all church. Church. This is what church stands for in sign language. This is the church of God in Christ. This is the church of God in Christ. So the church is a people, a body that assembles themselves. But we are having different members. You don't represent me. Well, one thing about a visa is you got to have everything in order. You can't have no criminal background. But I'm just saying, so you got to be careful when you playing around with a group of people. Russia don't like us. China don't like us. In South Africa, you got 3 of the letters that make up BRICS running our country. They're going to run it in the ground because everybody don't like America. Because America is home of the free in the land of the brave. America is war winners. America messed up Vietnam. America won the Civil War. And see, people, they tell the truth about the Emancipation Proclamation. They tell the truth. Yes, Abraham Lincoln signed it. But he signed a preliminary one first. We was not going to we freed ourselves. How do you just free yourself? Because he signed a preliminary Emancipation Proclamation. That them black slaves that was fighting that war, if we didn't win the Civil War, the Emancipation Proclamation wouldn't have been signed. And as you know, we won. So America know how to pull its neck up out the trenches. I just don't know why we so codependent on other people and not let all these criminals do criminal things. I'm sorry. Like, I just had so much respect for Reagan and Bush. So much respect. You know, the worst thing we heard about was Nixon doing what he did, Watergate. But this top Watergate, this ain't got nothing on Watergate. And Kennedy didn't even want Nixon to pay for what he did. Nixon didn't get in trouble. I mean, if you're going to tell the truth. We freed ourselves because we want that war. And I do thank Lincoln for signing off on it, and he fought for it. Him and a lot of other people. But we had to win the war, y'all. And we were front line and center. We were taking the bullets. We do not need other countries to help us. We may not win the battle, but we know how to win the war. We know. Because we become greedy and we've turned our backs on God. And I just be praying, God, I love you. Don't turn your back on me. Lord, don't take your joy from me. Don't take it. I can't make it. I tried it. I can't live without it. Restore me the joy of my salvation. Make me, Jesus, a new creation. Shape me, make me, mold me, hold me, fasten me into his will. So it's going to affect everybody eventually. Eventually. It's just the beginning. This you have entered into sorrow. So some stuff you better get used to. Ain't nothing you can do about it. You know how when your mama say she can't afford to get no cereal this week, you just get over it. You don't eat cereal. You get what I'm saying? If you can't afford no eggs, get over it. You'll be an eggless house. And if you do get some, you're gonna learn. You're gonna learn how to eat them. You ain't gonna eat them crazy. So if you better learn. You ain't gonna have no heavy whipping cream. You better learn how to make biscuits out of canned milk. You better learn how to use powdered milk. You better get you some powdered milk and get you some Hershey's cocoa. You don't have to buy nobody else's. Get you some powdered milk. Get you some Hershey's cocoa. Get you some powdered sugar. Get you some marshmallows. Put a pinch of salt in it to preserve it. Shake it up real good. Boil you some water on the stove. Scoop you out 2 tablespoons of that hot cocoa mix. Put you some marshmallows in there, if we can still afford them. Because see, a lot of vegans don't eat marshmallows because the gelatin is made from pork. Put it in your cup and stir it up. Don't go on the Starbucks. Starbucks don't apply to you no more. You can go to the store and get your creamer. If not, put your little canned milk. Honey, it tastes good with canned milk. And meatless Mondays, baby, mushrooms is meat. Macaroni is meat. My cousin eat macaroni as his meat. He'll get collard greens, cornbread, and macaroni. Macaroni is his meat. You can get all type of mushrooms. And you can cut them up. You can make them taste like anything. Get you some Nora Fataki and season that stuff up. Make it taste like eggs and fish and all that kind of stuff. You can make a meatless meatloaf. You can take your pecans and you can soak them and then grind them up. Put all your seasonings and stuff on there. You can get you some jackfruit. All that kind of stuff. And you just going to have to remember the days of old. And you can get you some salmon and make you some crab cakes. You can't afford lobster, just do the reverse. You got to learn how to survive. When stuff start getting out of your budget because you got to still live, you got to learn how to survive. I'm finna put my cream cheese up in the freezer. Any remaining butter, I keep a little butter out, but the rest of my butters are in the freezer. I'm finna clean this whole station off and get all this junk off my kitchen counters while I was baking. It just is what it is. Peanut butter and jelly. You can do cabbage so many ways. I don't know why these people call me every day. If it's gone, it's gone. I remember, and you don't have to have name brand cereal. Let me tell you something. Monique, please quit dropping names in the comment. We tell you all the time, don't drop other content creators' names in here. We know what she does. But just don't drop, we know what she do. It's just easier to just keep all content creators' names or anything off your page. That's just the best thing, and that's what I do. I just don't mention nothing. I don't like to read nothing with nobody's name, and I don't like to say their name. If I mention it, I mention it, but I don't want nobody to be tagged and thinking we talking about them. I don't know what's going on with nobody, what they having, what events they having. I'm not going to nothing, and I'm gonna mind my own business, right? Because I've been down that road, and right now, like I told y'all, I ain't fooling with people. You're not going to have a mouth full of cussing and fussing and then think I'm going to be connected. No. I got to stay close to the Lord for me and my house. As for me and my house. I don't care who you watching, who you like. I don't watch them. I watch nobody. As for me and my house. And if I surf on a cruise. When I surf, you will see me on Willie. You will see me on Calvin. When I surf, we stay right here. My moderators stay on this page. They don't be over there. I told them quit roaming over to people's pages. You might watch them. I have to watch them from the bushes, cause we don't want no confusion. And keep y'all moderators off my page. Because we don't want no, we ain't trying to connect. We don't want no confusion. If I'll go over there and I'll go over there and speak to $1 Million Barbecue, James and Vet. I'll go speak to Sweet Creations by Melinda. I haven't seen her in a long time. I hadn't seen her in a long time. What was that? Somebody asked a question. Can you give us a survival day where you teach us strategies to survive? I just gave you one. I told you about the buds on this potato. How you take your knife and cut it. I don't have no onions, so I don't want to peel them yet. How you cut them. And you let this part dry out a little bit. The little skin of it dry. And you then get you some soil, potting soil. And you don't bury it deep now. You got to start with it on top of the soil. And dust the soil. You're going to have it sitting on soil. But you sit it on top of that bottom soil. Sprinkle soil on top. Because you got to give it time to sink into the ground, into the soil. That's what potatoes do. They sink in the dirt. That's why you dig them up out the dirt. And then you just slowly start watering them. And you'll see green. It won't come up this color. It's going to come up green. And you're going to be growing potatoes. I'm going to be honest with you. You have to set your mind for survival. We've been surviving all our lives. And you have to set your mind. You have to tell yourself what I can do without. See, I do budgets. That's a form of survival. When people tell you they want to buy homes and you trying to get them in a house and you come meet with me, I got to sit down and look at how you spending your money. We appreciate the numbers. We don't need them. What that mean, Deacon Calvin? When you sit down, I'm going to find out what you're doing with your money, how you spending. If you're not willing to let me help you right there, then I ain't going to go no further with you. You don't fit. Because how will I be able to find where your money is going if you don't let me find it? And a lot of times, one thing that messed a lot of people up is when you just quit writing checks and totally depend on those debit cards. Now, Uber Eats has just destroyed people's bank accounts. You can start it off in the windowsill wing. You can start it off in the windowsill. Oh, yeah, we don't care. You don't got. I can see how many today I got on live. It don't matter. I'm not concerned with that. That don't mean a rat's behind. You can have 300 or 400 people on your live. And if it's a good live and the people share it, it can go viral. You can have 1,000 people on your live and you only have 1,000 comments. Sometimes I get off my live. I got 300 or 400 people on my live, and I got 2.1K comments, engagements. So it's all, people surfing. Everybody ain't on him. And some people got their pages connected. If they fall out with that other content creator, their numbers gonna drop. Vice versa. They pulling each other's people. As much as people don't want to admit that they controlled by who they watch, they really are. Because they get caught up in stuff and can't separate it. Like that lady I blocked the other day, yesterday. They get caught up with people. And then they come running back. And it's just stupid. Watch who you gonna watch and comment respectfully and stay out of content creators' beefs. I don't like a lot of them. Because they use me. But so what? I don't know them either. And that's my fault because trying to help everybody. Right? So you move on. You're never going to meet them. They ain't going to be in your life. They ain't coming to the cookout. They ain't coming to the wedding. They ain't coming to the funeral. They ain't invited to nothing. You don't care. They call strangers. That's why I don't let Avery go around begging for candy at Halloween. It's not like when we grew up. When you tell your kids don't ask nothing from nobody, you better mean it. Because that's why I'm not going out here doing no real estate. Right, you can't help everybody. You can put them in the window. Now, you need a big enough pot or you're going to end up repotting again. So, you got to start it off because they have to have sunlight. Right? These potatoes, they got to have sunlight. But if you're going to keep repotting and repotting, you don't need no pot like this. And that's all foot in my windowsill. Unless you build you a ledge on the outside of your windowsill. Back there, like take your ledge, like I could slide my window open and put me what's that? What would that be called? I could build me like, that's my deck. What is that called? If I want to put something like a serving thing. Like if I slid that window out and Eddie out there cooking, I could put something that'll slide where he could just reach and get it. Then I could get me a big pot. A ledge. God, I couldn't get it in my head. A ledge. So, look, let me show you. The way mine is set up. So, here's part of my deck, right? So, I could take and put a ledge. I ain't finna open it up right now because I see a bug. I could slide this. Put a ledge there. And grow my tomatoes right there. Potatoes and tomatoes and peppers. And Eddie can walk them on back in the woods if he wants to. Back there with that shed and stuff here. I don't go that far out. Because I'm only on an acre of land. Where I'm at. That's all I'm on. I'm on a whole corner lot. I am too. I'm trying to get better. Miss Mickey. And I just been taking things as they come. And I'm going to clean up. I put my butter up. And my baking days is papoot. They papoot. They papoot on me. They papoot. I'm going to say I ain't. But I got to clean my freezer out and get rid of all those old cakes. I'm going to probably take some of those cakes over to the group homes. Yeah, I am. I'm gonna be on that deck. And I don't have no appetite. And I'm waiting on Eddie. And then when he come home, I'm gonna make me some a tuna sandwich, and I'm probably gonna cut these up and fried potatoes. But I think we can survive. Listen, there was a black man in a restaurant, right? And I can't remember where, because I don't have my book. But he was cutting potatoes up. you know how people ate steak and potatoes like they do now? Some people like French fries with their steak. And the lady complained that her potato was too thick. So he went back in because, you know, this post, you get whipped. You know what I'm saying? Jim Crow and everything. And he thinly cut her potato. And he put it in the grease. And that's how we come up with a potato chip. I'm not showing the name of it, but that's how we come up with a potato chip. And he sprinkled it with salt. And that's how we come up with a potato chip. It was a black man, George Crum. Dean Calvin, where was George Crum working there? What was the name of the restaurant? I don't have my book with me. And I've been surviving off of potato chips and ginger ale. You can survive. We can make French fries. We can make chips. Slice your chip thin. And whatever dusting you want, while it's hot, dust it. Let me get a couple more there. Because you can't eat just one. No, it wasn't. It was George Crum, a black man working in a restaurant. He was in Virginia. And the lady complained because her potato was too thick. And he went and got a knife. And he cut the potato real thin. And he came up with a potato chip. Same way with ice cream. You're dieting? No, I've been sick for 3 weeks. And I don't eat much. I have a thyroid problem. And I take that shot. And you can make your own potato chip. You can make your own ice cream. Heavy whipping cream is expensive. We used to use condensed milk and carnation milk. Ice cream was invented. It was already out there, but it was a black man that put rock salt in it. And he was working at the White House. And Dolly, George Washington's wife, loved ice cream. She loved vanilla ice cream. But slaves couldn't eat vanilla ice cream. And he left the White House. He went in the White House and worked the kitchen at the age of 9. It was 7 or 9. And he realized that it was just runny. As soon as they dipped the ice cream out, it was like eating cold milk. And he incorporated rock salt. He also invented strawberry ice cream, chocolate mint ice cream. And he sold it by the big bucket. Y'all remember we used to go to ice cream parlors and they had the big old bucket? He sold it. Like we had a ice cream place called Kay's Castle. And my favorite ice cream was grape ice cream. Who remember grape ice cream? Y'all, I grew up eating tripe sandwiches. Carnation milk was baby milk. Yeah. What ice cream did the slave have? They couldn't have vanilla. Now, when they started incorporating other stuff in it, they could have it, like pecans and things like that. They said that they signified it as purity, and they would not allow them to have it. He was from New York, but he didn't reside in New York. I think he went to Philadelphia. George Crum. Oh, the ice cream. I got to go get my book. All that is in my book, because I do research, y'all. But he was a slave in the White House during George Washington and Dolly's days. Just like there's a candy, a Dolly candy. It's a do nothing candy. Yeah, they can say. I mean, Yeah, you can use pet milk or carnation milk. It's still canned milk. It don't matter which one. That's the name brand. My mama always just bought carnation, but sometimes we have pet. And we would take, oh man, I got some, but I don't want to eat nothing to mess up my stomach because my stomach is sensitive. But we would get cornflakes and we would sprinkle a little sugar. We didn't have Frosted Flakes now. We would get the government cornflakes, sprinkle a little sugar on them, pour canned milk, add just a little water, stir it up, and I put me a little piece of ice on mine. And that's how we ate our cereal. We didn't have whole milk. We ate canned milk. Mama never bought powdered milk for us to put over our cereal, but we ate the canned milk. Yeah, I grew up with everything. My daddy had a cafe. We had pickled pig feet, pickled sausage. We had pickled eggs. And every Friday and Saturday he cooked fish. You get a fish sandwich. You can get a fish plate. Now, I don't know how y'all grew up. But that fish sandwich, I had about 2-3 pieces of fish on those 2 pieces of bread. And they set it on it. They didn't close it up. And then they tape and put the lettuce down so the fish wouldn't get wet. And then they scoop you some potato salad on top of it. Put a tomato on it. Put a pick in it. A toothpick. Now that was a fish sandwich to go. Baby, it was so good. Then you could have a fish plate. Now you get a lot of fish. The whole side of that plate would be about 5-6 pieces of fish. Potato salad, baked beans, green beans, whatever. And we would go out there as kids. And my daddy would just load us up. Now if he was cooking fish out the creek, we had to learn how to eat it. And if you got a bone in your throat, you knew to get that light bread. They knew how to get that thing to work on down. You was uncomfortable for a little minute. Then you learn how to eat around them fish bones. I can clean a fish back in a minute. And it was the best fish. When the head and the bone and everything was in it, that was the best fish. But they would do the fish sandwich would be fillet. Sometimes they would lay the fish over the whole 2 pieces. But most of the time it was filleted. With the potato salad on top. And potato salad was simple. Don't get me wrong. But baby, that potato salad didn't have everything in the world in it. You had eggs, sweet relish, or salad cube. And you had your onion in it. And they sometimes some of them would have peppers in it. But if it didn't, it didn't. And it had salt and pepper and a little garlic and onion powder. That was it. They sprinkle a little sugar. But I don't know what it is. And they put so many eggs. I think it was the eggs. They put so many eggs in it. And they would serve it to, it'd be hot. They be just done made it too. Baby, they be just done made it and scooped it on that fish sandwich. God almighty. Give me a ginger ale. Be so good. Hey, Silky Smooth Benjamin. I see somebody speaking to you. It'd be so good. I need my container out my room. It'd be really good. Tell you about grape ice cream. Grape ice cream was vanilla ice cream. And it was in the specialty section. And it was like over there where you had...
Like that?
I just wanted my thing.
Wow.
But it had like... It would be over there with different ice creams that had flavors to them. And like you could get... It was great. It was purple. I don't know what. I don't know if it was mixed with raspberry. I don't know what they mixed it with, but it was so good. What candy is called peanut butter bars? What? What's the name? of those candies. Come on, don't play with me. Come on now. Go on. Stop, baby. Hey, Francidia. Oh, it was good. You don't find it. Now, me and Eddie went to Hilton Head. And they had some on that island at a little ice cream spot. Looked like a little, you know, like something that would look like it's on the island. Hilton Head is the cleanest island I've been on. Hilton Head is so clean. There's no trash or nothing. And they sell it on there. We got some. I went over there every day. Me and Eddie was there. He had to take me to go get grape ice cream. But back in the day, in your ice cream parlors, they used to sell it. And it was so good. It was smooth like vanilla with a great flavor. Oh, say less. Monique, how you know? Douglasville Food Bank have free eggs. I'm going to have to pass that word to my cousins now. Miss Barbara Jackson, I love you. Yes, I do. We're going to make it through this. We've come through hard trials, tribulations, and persecutions. This, we're going to make it. This, too, is going to push us closer to God. Miss Mickey Miller says she's had grape ice cream before. South Carolina. I enjoyed Hilton Head. And the history that's on that island. And the story behind the Geechee people. And preserving the history. You know, there's a town in Alabama called African Town. But the people are selling all their land off. But what I like about Charleston and Hilton Head, they preserve their history. Like Louisiana. I like that. And I had an amazing time. It's different. Hilton Head was different. They have bureaus. You don't see their stores or nothing. You got to drive into each sector. She said they still make grape ice cream in North Carolina. I love it. I wish I could get some. We pulled ourselves up according to history from our bootstrings. So we can make it. When you go, Deacon County, African Town is a cult. I'm in Alabama. African Town is not a cult. I don't care if you're in Alabama. It's not a cult. Have you done a history on African Town, Ashley? I don't know what they're turning it into, but it is not a cult. It's just originally a town that Africans land on from a certain tribe, and they grew it and they built it. Now, what it's turning into, the history on it, it was not a cult. Now, I'm a historian, and I could tell you I already done research on African Town. African Town never was built to be a cult. And the land that the Africans fought to keep and to leave to their ancestors and to keep their tribal language, it's not a cult. If you're going to call that a cult, then you're going to say, well, the Geechees are a cult. Because they did the same thing over there in Charleston and Hilton Head. So that's so wrong to say. See, we tear each other down too much. But it went that. But you got to understand, Ashley. Let me break that down. I know all about the school and the people that now, some people that have, not the entire African Town, but you got to understand, there are a lot of people here that feel like they want to make them the original villages and teach their kids their God, their language. We can't get mad because, how can I put it? A lot of people feel like religion and all is cult. People that don't believe in religion at all, they think that we are a cult. So when you got them, I can't say it, New Wave people, and they got their school, and they got their compound there, that's just them. There are other people live in African town. And the people that settled African town were slaves. And yes, the Geechees were slaves. They came in on a Spanish slave ship. And they got their own songs. They got their own tribal language. You can't. If that's the case, you can say, is Amish a cult? Is Amish a cult? This is my meal. Because you can't go over there. And we buy Amish product. So basically what she's talking about, there's a group of people that have settled in African town. And they are tribal. And they dress like Africa. And they more like Hebrew Israelites. And they teach their children a certain way. And you learn their way just like you would if you were still in Africa. That's probably why I'm craving it, because I can't eat nothing heavy. I can't eat a hamburger. I can't eat none of that. It tears me up. I tried to eat some of those oxtails Kelby brought me. I was up all night till 2 in the morning. I had to take, that's probably why I slept in so late. And I had to take Pepto-Bismol. I was sick as a dog. So just a little tater chips and ginger ale is all I've been living off of. I do a little. Now Eddie, he go get me some chips. Because I don't want no food. Food that you smell, it make me sick. When I tried to eat that little ground beef, I got sick. I was checking my pantry to see if it was anything in that I could teach a lesson on. And I thought about I had some potatoes gonna go bad. What you say, Jean Lewis? If ever there's a time we should stand together and support each other. Well, we done said that. I can't take racism. Every color of people. Ashley, baby, we know that. And white people were slaves too, Ashley. And Ashley, I want you to know over here, we respect white people, Mexicans and any race. Because there were white people that helped us. Every white person does not feel the way their ancestors felt. And some of their ancestors are better than they are today. Some of their ancestors would be ashamed of how they feel. I don't worry about our Constitution because it was wrote about by people that were pro-slavery. But you do have to understand that Abraham Lincoln still played a part in the Emancipation Proclamation. You have to understand that he had to fight and get people to hear him to sign off. He had to work out a deal and say, well, I'm going to sign this pre-war. And if they win the war, we're going to sign it. So this preliminary is going to turn into a permanent one. We have to have people like President Lyndon B. Johnson that took his stand and created DEI so that we could get fair housing, equal opportunity employers, and be treated all this removing DEI and saying ain't nobody gonna get jobs based on the color of their skin or their sex or religion. You don't have to hire them if they gay. But you saying experience. You stay out my personal business. If I wanna eat some coochie, if I wanna eat, it's not your business. And if a man wanna, what that's got to do with your workplace? And he know we not there. He know we not there yet. So to try to remove that, that's just fair being mean to LGBTQ community. That's wrong. Because now a lot of people got the right to tell you they're not going to hire you or let you put your wife or your husband on your insurance because y'all same sex. See, y'all not looking into the whole picture. We are highly educated people. Every race is. We go to college and educate ourselves. But if you don't want to hire me because of the color of my skin, you don't have to no more. And if you want to not hire me or give me no rights so that my husband can be on my insurance or my wife, now you got the right to. And then some of these stores failed so fast for it. Scared they're going to lose money from the government. Because the government keeps them afloat. And we know about it's for everybody to say, you're right, the black community, sex, national origin, religion, politics, all of that, creed, all of that. So, how do we get on that? I forgot how we got on it. Oh, I was saying, but you remember white people helped us. Some white people helped us. That's how you got the Underground Railroad. They went on the railroad. White people would open their churches, their houses. Their houses were getting burned down. They were getting hung too. Their churches were getting burnt down. You had white people that didn't treat you bad. You were still a slave, but they didn't treat you bad. You had some good slave owners. Treated their slaves top notch. And them old filthy, rundown, mean orange people, they would get mad at those. And they didn't want to barter with them. Or they would not give you your seeds to harvest the land that they gave us. So, I look at places like, that David Caruth and all that stuff that took place, I see that as a cult. But you gotta, some people like to be led. I hate to say that. Some of y'all treat church like a cult. Y'all let them church members tell y'all everything to do. First thing y'all say is, I got to check with my pastor. Will you come over to my Christmas party? Well, let me check with pastor and see if it's okay. What? You want to go on vacation? Well, let me check with pastor and let me see, because I think we might be having a revival. You don't even say, let me check with my husband. You say pastor. Now, there is a door that leads in this house. And the pastor's name ain't on this house. Joshua said, as for me and my house. Well, we can agree to disagree, Lynn, Roby Nash. We can agree to disagree because black folks also were slave owners. So we can agree to disagree. Sometimes things are just all what they are. People use. It's just like right now, you'll get mad at me because I use a maid. My maid was white. All my maids have been white. Because when you ask black people to come clean your house and you know them, they act like you think you better than them. No, I thought you did house cleaning. I was at a funeral and I mentioned to this girl do you still clean houses? She said, oh yeah, I do, but I'm gonna lean toward commercial. No, she didn't want to clean my house. She don't want to be said that she is my maid. Let's keep it $1.50 and 75 cents on the end of that. That means it's $1.25. It's $2.25. $1.50 plus that little extra on the end. And so I just looked at her and said, okay, you say less. I'm gonna get me another housekeeper, and it won't be a black person unless a black person wants it. But black people had slaves too. And I'm gonna show y'all something in my room. But I ain't gonna show y'all my room because y'all knows it. And y'all be trying to figure out stuff. I'm gonna show you this right here. Ain't that? Let me see if I can get right here to show it to you. That's a generational picture. Ain't that pretty? Yeah. Keep it $1.75, $1.50, and $1.25. But the whole purpose of what I'm saying is you use who willing to come. You know what I'm saying? And it was good slave owners. It really was. Just like you had bad slaves. You did have slaves that stole. You did have slaves that murdered people. You did. It's good and bad everywhere you go. Just like everybody here in the United States, everyone that came here from Mexico is not good. And everybody that remains here in America that are citizens, they know better. You want to call these people that are not citizens, you can't call them terrorists. Everybody's not a terrorist. You got your own people that are terrorists. You got people right here that have made their way and became citizens. The World Trade Center. Those people that did that had been here. They had went to college and everything, but they were sent here on an assignment. And they had to fulfill it because, see, in those third world countries, it's an honor to die for your country. And we all come from other places. They just chose to treat some better than others. But we all come from somewhere different. The Indians were here. But I told the story about Europe and how the northern Africans, it was a group of North Africans that went there, the Moors, because Europe was considered the slum. And they thought that the people that lived there didn't have no type of, they were barbaric people. They were barbaric people. They didn't know how to eat with utensils. They did not bathe. They stunk. Their hygienes were poor. Their streets were flooded. I got to take these gabapentins and stuff. Their streets was flooded. And the Moors, the group of Moors, African tribe, the Moors, came there, taught them their language, English, education, culture, music. They were the first people that did classical music. They were artists. They did the irrigation systems and put them into their streets and fixed their sewers and made Europe be what it is today. I can go on and on. That's why I can tell you we were spread in the four corners of the world. You take everyone. I label my medication. It's wrote on the top in big writings. So in case I need something, Avery know how to come get it. All of my medicine got writing on the top. So what time is it? So we all come from somewhere. I'm about to quit getting these injections in my body, these steroids. And that's no disrespect, but I don't want nobody over here. Now, the only way we're going to get into it with you is if you come over here trying to defend what's going on in the United States. Right now, it's not a good time to try to defend what's going on in the United States, if that make any sense. Let us all process it, because right now it don't look good. But other than that, I'm not blaming everybody that vote Republican or everybody that's white when I talk about Black history, because they are a part of our history. And I'll say it again, we can agree to disagree, but there were good slave owners. You can say what you want to. We don't know. How you gonna say there were no good slave owners? We weren't no slave once upon a time when we were colored. We don't know. I can tell you based on history, there had to be some good slave owners. And there had to be some good people, because there were some people helped us. And they helped us, and it's called the Underground Railroad. And there are so many more people other than Sojourner Truth. And there's so many more, or Harriet Tubman or whatever. There was so many more runs done than the 300 runs that she did. And she only did runs in the wintertime. And she succumbed to pneumonia. But there's so many more that was done. They just ain't wrote down. Like it's so many books in the Bible that is not recorded. There's so many more stories and encounters that we don't know about. It ain't recorded. A lot of people helped Harriet Tubman. And the thing about it is you can't say that they didn't, because she said they did. It's in her story. So you can't say that they didn't. Because I got orange and mustard as my pillows and my sheets, because that's what's on my bed, orange and mustard. I don't have all my pillows where you can see them. See, I got orange and mustard pillows. That's what my bedroom is. It's orange and mustard and brown. So, but it's not to argue over, y'all. We're going to have to come together, because I'm going to tell you what's going to happen. These very people that pretend that they helping this man, it's going to take American men and women to get us out of this. Both political parties are going to have to come together and make a stance together that this is not going to be. You ain't going to undo the Civil War. You're not finna mess with the civil rights. You're not finna mess with the Emancipation Proclamation. You're not finna take King's holiday away. And you're not going to take Black history away. Everybody got to take that stand. And if one party acts as though it's okay, that'll tell you what's in their heart. That would tell you really how that person feels. That's just like saying, I don't care if the middle class can't have eggs. I want eggs. And put a price on it. The rich people can pay for eggs. No. No, I ain't gonna get out there in no chicken house and grow no eggs for you. And you think just the rich people gonna eat eggs. No. Go grow your own eggs. Get you some chicken houses. Set them houses up in the woods. Set them chicken houses up right and high where the foxes and whatever else animals can't get to them. Feed them, grow them big, mix it up, and get you some hens and get you some roosters and get everything. Grow your own tomatoes. Listen, support your local farmers. And that's another thing. It's sad to say that these fields are growing over and stuff is rotting. Call the people and tell them to come out there and get what you can't sell. Let them harvest the fields. That's how Bathsheba got her man. Y'all always want me to do Bible study. That's how Bathsheba ended up getting her Boaz. She was glazing the fields. You know what glazing the fields is. You know how Mr. Henry say, I think I got a few more ears of corn left. We're going to push it over this weekend. Y'all want to go out there and glaze the fields? Y'all ain't never went out there and they had leftover corn ears and the corn sticking up and they got leftover this and they start turning the field over and you start digging up the potatoes and the sweet potatoes and it's a whole field of food out there. That's what slaves used to do. That's what poor white people did. Don't let it go bad. Don't let it go bad. Talk about Miss Ruth. Who is Miss Ruth? Oh, you talking? Oh, yeah, honey. Who did I say? Didn't I say Ruth? Her Boaz. Let me tell you something what I like about Boaz, though. I think Boaz was sexy. I really do. And I'm going to tell you what I think about Boaz. You know, Boaz rejected Ruth. Ruth went and took her stuff in the room to Boaz and laid it across the bed. And if Boaz would have went in her, she would have been his wife. But Boaz told Ruth, get up before anybody wake up and see you coming out this room and go back to your room. I need to talk to my first cousin. Because he got right over me. And if he don't want you, I'm going to come get you. Boaz wasn't in no hurry. Boaz wasn't, he wasn't in no hurry for no coochie cat. Boaz said, for God to bless me, we're going to do this the right way, Ruth. And I'm paraphrasing. But that's what life lessons is. You got to bring it out the Bible into today's. So in other words, you throw yourself at a man. Boaz didn't need her to. Because a man finds a wife, he finds a good thing. And the thing that he finds is favor from God. Not that we're a thing, but he finds the goodness and the favor of God from her. He could have ran through her. Because she had been married once. I was thinking about Penona, her sister-in-law. She had been married once. Penina, something. And Oprah. Her name was Oprah. I'm sorry. I'm thinking about somebody else. I'm thinking about Hannah's girl, Oprah. She had been married. And so she couldn't prove she had no virginity. So basically, he let her off. So, and I believe he was respectful. And see, he let her glaze his fields. And he didn't just let her. She was out there with other people that needed food after he had harvested his stuff. They were out there. She was out there with everybody else, common people. They could have been slaves because, slavery was in the Bible. And he was on his horse. And he noticed that he didn't recognize her. And she was there with his cousin Ruth. His niece Ruth. Ruth was Boaz's niece. Because she had went back home. And see, little did Ruth know that the God that Boaz served was the God of our salvation. And when she took that stand for God from a pure heart, and Ruth told her, go back home to your people because I ain't going to have no more kids. And if I had one, you'd be an old woman by the time my child was old enough to marry. Oprah went on home, baby. She said, bump this. I'm going to go get me a man from my family. Ruth was like, where you large, I large. Your people shall be. Well, first she said, where you go, I'll go. Where you large, in other words, where you sleep, I'm going to sleep. Your people shall be my people, and your God, my God. She took that stand. Let's see what somebody done wrote. That was Ruth that glazed the fields to impress her mother-in-law. Naomi urged Ruth to visit Boaz and uncover his feet. So that was an invitation to, oh God, her and Boaz fell for her, and she got blessed. Thank you, but no, Annie B, thank you, but no. We know that it was Ruth because we've been talking about Ruth and Naomi. The second thing was they needed food. The third thing is Boaz rejected her. He did not fall for her. He told her to get out of his bed. He had a first cousin that had rights over Ruth before he did. So you skip some. All right? And she was there because she took a stance with her mother-in-law. So you skipped a whole part of this love story. Go back and read it. And he told her that somebody was before him. And that once he had that talk, he was going to come back. He could get her. So that's how that went. He did not fall in. He didn't go in her that night. No, he didn't. Now I'm going to pull the scripture up for you. Y'all, my comments done stopped for some reason. Hold on one second. I could be froze. Am I frozen? As you be on here so long, they start freezing you. Am I frozen? No. We ain't mad at each other. Now we just talking. Mother-in-law. We don't do that over here, Annie B. I was just letting you know when you wrote all that out that we was talking about Ruth. And did I say the wrong name? I thought I was talking about Ruth and Naomi. And that Naomi had 2 daughter-in-laws. So, did I say the wrong name, y'all? Because sometimes I do that. Did I say the wrong name? Because sometimes I will do that when I be teaching. Y'all know I'm notorious for it. So please let me know if I did. And I didn't mean to. The story of Ruth and Boaz. Well, oh, I said the right name. Okay. Because my understanding, she didn't go pick to impress. Because Boaz already knew their situation. And Boaz knew. And he allowed her to glaze that land. I said Bathsheba at first. See, that's what I'm saying. Sometimes I do mess up. See, I didn't mean to say Bathsheba. Oh, I corrected it. Okay. Yeah, Ruth and Naomi. Yeah. But he didn't just fall in love with her. Because he was the landowner. You said Bathsheba in the beginning, however, those who studied scripture know. But I corrected it. Okay. Okay. Yeah. I just want to get to the part where he did not go right into her. The book of Ruth, she was a Moabite. So hold on one second. I just want to... Yeah, see, listen to this. It says that she had returned with her mother-in-law, Naomi, who had also lost her husband, and they lived together in a humble situation. Ruth would go to the fields each day to glean food in the fields during harvest. Boaz was a landowner where Ruth came to find grain. He knew of her situation, and he told his workers to leave plenty of grain for her to find. Boaz also offered her food with the other workers and encouraged her to work in the safety of his fields throughout the harvest. Naomi noted that Boaz was a close relative who, according to the Jewish law, had the right to marry Ruth after the death of her husband. Naomi encouraged Ruth to go to Boaz in the evening and present herself willingly to accept a marriage proposal from him. When she did, he was pleased with her, but he let her know, listen to this, yet noted that there was one relative who was closer in line to marry Ruth than he was. So he did tell Ruth to get on up out of that bed. I'm telling y'all now. The next day, Boaz met with the relative and presented the situation. The relative turned down the offer as he felt it would cause harm to his own family situation. Boaz then made a commitment in front of the town's leaders that he would take Ruth as his wife. Boaz and Ruth were married and soon had a son named Obed. Now y'all know this is the lineage of Jesus. Naomi's misfortune had turned to joy as she became a grandmother. Obed would later become the grandfather of King David, who would also serve as an ancestor of JC. That's Jesus Christ. And so it's all right to be turned down. It's all right to let a man lead. It's all right to let a man guide you. It's all right. It's all right. Because he came back for her. But he did it the right way. And how we got on that is we got to stick together and do things the right way. That's how we got on that subject. It's all right to glaze the fields. These farmers that's letting stuff go bad, that's wrong. There are people out there can come do their work. Let them glaze the field. Let them get some of that stuff and that produce. Let them get out there and help you with your chicken houses. And in return, get them some food. But people are not going to work for dirt free. And what I like about some of these farmers right now, some of these farmers are making a stand for their workers. Baby, I got everything on my bed. Y'all don't know how sick I really am. I've been sick. Whatever this virus is, it's bad. He came back for her. Who are we coming back for? No, it's who's coming back for us. It ain't who we coming back for. It's who's going to come back for us one day. His name, JC. He coming on a cloud. And every eye shall see him. And I want to go back with him when he comes. She told her about the fields. But it was a decision on Monique. See, what you have to understand when you read the Bible, you can get stuck on one thing. She told her what fields to go glaze. She told her who owned them. That don't mean the man wanted her. Number two, if Ruth had never made the stand way back before she got there, when she said, your people shall be my people and your God, my God, that's where it began. That's where the promises of the Lord began, because Ruth said, I'm going with you and I'm going to serve your God. Y'all talking about a field. Bump the field. It was the commitment. It was the commitment. And she did it with sincerity. It was a commitment. Bump the fields? That's irrelevant. He looked out for her. He said, if you going to glaze some fields, he said, glaze mine for your safety. Did you not hear him say he left some wheat? He left stuff, grain in the ground so she could get more. He offered to feed her with his workers. It was the faithfulness. Great is thy faithfulness. You know the song? Great is thy faithfulness. Yeah. Morning by morning. She also told her to wash herself and lay at his feet. I'm done with it. We already done got the whole meat of it. I just read the whole entire thing. So if I was you, ain't no use in writing the whole thing out, Monique. We just read it. We just read it. It was a choice that he chose to make. And I'm glad when men make the right choices. Because that ain't the way he wanted his woman. There's a lot of people that's deceitful in actions. Even though Naomi wasn't being deceitful, she was showing her how to catch a man. But that's the same way Jacob and Esau mama, Rebecca. God had already told her that the younger one was going to rule over the oldest one. He didn't need her help. But she deceived her husband. She told the youngest one to go out in the backyard and get a goat. Get a kid. Rub yourself in blood and put that goat hair on you. Because your father blind. He going to be thinking you going to smell and feel like your brother Esau. But Esau really went hunting. She messed her whole family up. And that's the one thing, if you go read, his first cousin said, I don't want her. It would mess up the dynamics. And we never said that Naomi did not tell her to help or that she didn't tell her what to do. The point of the matter is that he did things decency and order. He didn't just lay with her. He didn't just use her. But he said that he wants the blessings of God. And then he stood before the town square and he let people know, now this woman right here going to be my wife. I'm going to do right by her. I ain't going to just lay with her. And with these, like some people did, a lot of their farm hands. I'm going to treat her with respect. Because, see, you got to understand, y'all got to go back and remember, Ruth wasn't no virgin. He wasn't going to gather up no sheets and take them to the elders of the church because she had already had a husband. So he did right in the sight of God, and he did right according to their laws. We are all on the same page. It's what we choose to get focused on. But we're all on one accord. And that's what we got to do. We got to get together on one accord. That's right, LaTarsha. He was being obedient to the Lord. And he knew that some people don't care. Somebody would have just been like, oh, that's another woman I can be with. I don't care if my cousin is entitled to this job. It's just like some of y'all. They know you next in line to get free eggs and you'll go in there. Well, she wasn't here today. I'm going to go on over there and get them eggs. I'm going to go tell my cousin and I'm going to tell them to get some of their children. And we all going to go in line and get eggs. Now your family got 12 dozens of eggs when somebody else's family didn't get to get one set of eggs because you found out that they were giving away free eggs and you rounded up everybody and lied and said everybody lived in different households and y'all got all those eggs and one person just needed 1 dozen and they said, sorry, we out. You ain't gonna look back and say, well, we all live in the same house. Peanut, go on and get her your eggs. You ain't gonna do that. That man showed dignity. He showed pride. He showed respect. He showed obedience to the word of God and his standard. And it was a beautiful thing. It's like, it's all apart. Like you can complain what's on your plate. That's what my mama said. You want to mess around and eat the meat of the plate. Y'all just want that fried chicken and macaroni, but there was still other stuff on that plate. And the most important part, the nourishing part, we didn't want when we were growing up. We didn't want the collard greens and the mustard greens. We didn't want that. We just said, can I have another piece of chicken? Can I have another piece of chicken? And our mamas would say, no, you're going to eat what I put on your plate first. That's all I want us to do. I want us to eat what's on our plate first. We got to get together on one accord. The Democrats and the Republicans got to get Muskie out of here. He's a South African here on a visa trying to run our country. And he's going to run it in the ground because he's from South Africa. It's just rich or poor. And that's what he's trying to do, destroy middle class. And when I've been saying this for how many years, if we lose middle class, since 2022, if we lose middle class, we're going to be like a third world country. How many years? God knows some of y'all been following me from the beginning. How many? That's why I say now I don't share some of the things I see because people get mad. I just don't know more. I just don't know more. You know, because you get folks angry and upset. And but what upsets me? What upsets me is that there are people, and especially white people, that was on my page. And I cannot see the way I was loving them. I can't see that they would think it's okay what Muskie doing. Muskie and 45, 47. I can't see that they see Musketeers doing this stuff to us and that it would be okay. Chicago, I got family there. My Tiffany, my niece, my auntie, she there. I can't see what they going through and it be okay. That's not okay. Chicago got a lot going on and their governor is fighting. And then you're going to mess around and find out. Because Canada done already said. That man, that prime minister done already said. Keep on. If we get any tariff or anything over here, y'all ain't going to have no lights. Lights out. Lights out for the Midwest. New York. Chicago. Lights out. He said, I will cut their power off. But listen, it's out there for y'all to see. It's out there for you to see. And some of the things that's upsetting me with people that I really loved on here, they're not commenting and I don't see their name. Wisconsin, Michigan, New York, all of them Deacon Cal. I don't know if this Deacon Calvin or Tiffany, but the governor has been on the news talking about how many people. I'm in Chicago and our government is fighting and we're going through the repercussions already. Yes. Thank you, Annie B. That's right. They going through. They dropped a boatload of people off in Chicago and stuff like that. And now they going through all this stuff and they didn't ask for these troublings. I'm going to get off of here, y'all, because, you know, it's time for me to go back to bed. One thing I'm going to do is let my body do what it's going to do. I'm letting myself up. I'm not just sitting. I got a back rest. My bed lit up. We got to have a prayer meeting. Call to duty, honey. We got to do some fasting and praying. Chicago going through. I'm telling y'all. Let me tell you something. Mother Joyce, I know something. I know some things about what went down in Katrina. I just ain't said nothing yet. I'm in Chicago about 30 minutes from Canada's borders. He's threatening to cut. Like I told y'all, the prime minister said that. And y'all, it was so sad to see Jim Acosta. He left because he said one of his highlights was covering Barack Obama, and he said that his family, he wasn't born here, and he is not going to support Donald Trump, basically. And let me tell y'all this much. I love everybody, but it bothers me when I see my white people don't come on my page right now because they can't, you know, they can't, it bothers me. That just hurts my feelings because I really love them, and it bothers me that they would really have to stop commenting and being a part of my podcast. And that bothers me. Because I thought that if you love somebody, even if you voted that way, you would think that you would understand how we were feeling over here. And it hurt my feelings. And I'm gonna love them, but it's some of them I call their names out a lot. And they disappear. But I'm all right with it. I mean, it's part of life, I guess. I'm not tearing down. Like, I was one of the people felt like people didn't like when I said it, but why did they mess with the Confederate stuff? Why did they mess with it? It's a part of history. I'm sorry. Don't mess with their stuff, and they won't mess with our stuff. You can't take away. What was them Confederate statues? They wasn't bothering me. I grew up Stone Mountain. I used to walk Stone Mountain. So if you don't want them to mess with our monuments, don't mess with their monuments. If you want to fix your history, then you leave their history alone. That's how I feel. Respect your brother. Love your brother. Treat him as an equal. Y'all know I'm finna do a spit before I go. Here's the situation. It's idiocy, nonsense, violence, not a great policy. Therefore, we must ignore fighting and fussing. Mama's at the door. There'll be no bum rushing. Let's get together cause we falling apart. I heard a brother shot another. It broke my heart. I don't understand you culty people. Love your brother. Treat him as an equal. They call us animals. I don't agree with them. We're proven wrong, but right is what we're proving to them. Take heed before I leave to what I'm saying, or we'll all be on our knees praying. And we can't change the past. We can't live in the future or wish for the past. We have to live each day as if it were our last. Now, I'm a firm believer. They love they people just as much as you love yours. And y'all got some family members right now that murdered folks, and you still love them. We're not focused on the most important thing, which is getting together on one accord. We're not focused on building up where we have fallen and make us strong where we are weak. We're not focused on that this is our country, and we don't need nobody here on a visa getting in the ear of our president. If our president cannot run this on his own, he got representatives, and we don't need nobody, no musky buskies running our country. You go back to South Africa. That's where you go back to. You cussed us out so bad on Twitter. You go back to South Africa. We got a whole political party. He got a whole political party. He got a whole Republican party. We ain't dumb. He got a vice president. We don't need Musky Busky Lund. We don't need him. We do not need anybody on no visa running our country. I don't care who you voted for. We ain't stupid. He's on a visa. Visa your butt on, take your Teslas. And that's another thing. Buy American. I've been telling y'all this. Buy American. Quit pretending. We need everything. I wish somebody would start some crochet classes up. I wish somebody would start some of that clay and pottery classes up. I love that kind of stuff. I love pottery classes. I used to take pottery. I know how to put the clay on the wheel. I know how to wet my sponge. I know how to keep turning my wheel because the potter want to put us back together again. I know how to put it in the blast, the kilts. I took pottery. I know how to get it out. I know how to paint my stuff. We can make our own coffee cups. We can seal them. We so creative. Buy American. You don't need to make American great again. It was never great. Make America one. Let's make America one. We used to be number one. Everybody wants to come here and live. You still got people. Now I might have to move to the Netherlands. I may have to go to the land down under, Australia. I don't know. I may have to get a whole nother tongue. I need to go where I can have peace and quiet. Just take me to the Netherlands. I just want to go where I see green valleys and pastures, and I want to be around animals, and I want to just be in nature with God. That's me. I can't do the city life. Green Acres, that's me. I'm Green Acres. Oh, New York's where I'd rather stay. I'm allergic to the smelly. Hey, not me. No, I'm the man. Give me the country. No, darling, I don't need Fifth Avenue. Let's do some stuff and sell our own. Let's get us a pie company, a made in America. Jewelry made in America. Let's shut down Tamu and Sheen. Let's get some sewers and seamstress back up. Let's operate our own. Like we used to make t-shirts for Gap here where I live, Spring City Knitting. We made the t-shirts for Gap. We shut down, but we used to make them here. I used to work for First Brands. I used to work for Glad Garbage Bags. We made our garbage bags here. I used to work for them. That's how I got knots on my hand. I worked second shift, and I made your bags, and I ran your plastic, and I put them in the box. And I sealed them, sent them down the machine to be sealed. I did the cross ties. I did all of them. Let's get together on one accord. Let's let people know in the United States we trust in this God. Let's raise and breed our own stuff. Get us some Kobe cattle and Angus and let's get these chickens going. Wait, you had Spring City Knitting down here in Cartersville? Yeah. And on Tuesdays they had 50-cent $1.50 day. That's where a rift or a stitch was wrong. You could come in and buy a t-shirt for 50 cents to $1.50. We sure did. We had a Spring City Knitting. And we ran shirts, and the biggest contract was for Gap. They were t-shirts. I used to wear them all the time. You go on Tuesdays, they open it up to the public. And we could get trash bags and garbage bags all day long. And the only thing we did was change the boxes. We didn't change the plastic. Plastic is plastic. We ran plastic for Glad, Safeway, for Family Dollar Store, General Dollar Stores, and everything. We just changed the... Yeah, I heard ISIS taking kids out of school. We got to give our country back to God, like Joey said. That's right. Joey Morrell said we have to give it back. We do. We do. But a lot of people leaving the country, and I understand that they're leaving it. But if we all leave, what we gonna do? What us is gonna do? I don't know. For me, I'm being honest with you. If my family would go, I'll go. If Eddie was willing to go, my mom and them willing to go, if my sisters and brothers and, if they say we all going to the Netherlands, then that's where we would pick up and move. We would be like pioneers. I just got to have some family with me. And if something ever happened to my mother, I would go anywhere. I would miss my brothers and sisters, but they could come visit. So, I just don't think Muskie Buskie needs to be running nothing. And that's just my opinion. No, that's not true. Darlene, you're going to be surprised. She said only the rich can afford to move. That's not true. Now, it's going to take you getting a passport, and it's going to take you getting a visa. Now, it may take you just a little bit of money, but you're going to be surprised the cost of living. Do your homework first. Do you know, Darlene, in China, in Bali, in the Netherlands, do you know how big, especially with the Netherlands, they don't deal with a lot of politics. Their government is very small. And so they get a lot of house for a little money. And in China, once you pay your house off, you don't pay taxes no more. And in Mexico, like if you was living in Cancun, your rent and your lights and everything is all inclusive. If you were in Bali or in Netherlands, it's all inclusive. And you can get a house and it costs you $400. It's not that the visa is more expensive than the passport, and it is. It's that it's more time consuming to get one as well. You can get a passport very easy. You can go and pay your $275 to your post office, and you can go over to the CVS or Walgreens and snap a picture of yourself and take it with you and put your application in, and boom. I don't have any money, but I keep seeing a man of Black entrepreneurs put the money together and work together. It can happen, Miss Wanda Howard. I just spent the whole afternoon trying to get my real ID. You wouldn't believe it. I don't know what you're talking about. What's wrong with your ID, Miss Darlene? But I'm just chilling and vibing with y'all. If y'all want me to talk, I'll talk. I think I took a perk. But if I go to sleep, y'all just get off of here. If I start doing this, Calvin will call the other phone and wake me up. But I ain't like that. I feel pretty good right now. I think that virus is leaving out of me. It's cheap to live in Italy and to buy property. You know what, though? I didn't know that, Joey, because Italy is an old world country, and I know a lot of their stuff is inheritable, but I didn't know it would be easy. See, I don't want to be Democrat, and I don't want to be Republican. And you can't tell me to go back somewhere I ain't never been. I am American. And I've been telling y'all, and I don't care, before we agreed on stuff. See, that's one thing I kind of don't like about Republicans. If a Democrat going through something, I agreed that Biden didn't need to be back up there. I agreed to it. I even agreed if we had the right person running, I would vote Republican because I'm not a diehard person. But with a Republican, they won't agree when things they mess up on. They know good and well they don't like Muskie running our country. But they got so much pride, they ain't going to tell you that it's wrong that somebody with a visa is telling us what to do in the United States. You got 3 political parties. Go if you don't want to go get you a liberal, but do not get nobody from another country to try to run our country and run it in the ground, because that's how they ran their country. And then on top of that, he kind of lucked into becoming rich. He kind of lucked into some good investments, and they worked. He didn't create Tesla. You can live anywhere and work online. You can move to Bali and work online. That's where Darius Cooks moved. Yes. Now, I told y'all about that black girl that's a teacher in Mexico. She's so hurt. She's doing great there. She got a big old house in Mexico. She teach in Cancun, and it's nice. If you go on YouTube, I told y'all I was going to tell you her name. She's on TikTok. And if you go over there, she walks every day and she shows y'all Mexico. But she was making a good point. And like, it's so many things in my mind. Hey, Iris, I love you. There's so many things in my mind. Now, if you trace your heritage back, there are certain places in Africa that's giving you free land to come and build your house. They're not going to just build it for you, but the land is free because you are a part of that area of Africa or that country. The next thing is that the black lady said that they made her go through. They normally let her come through when she showed her resident card, but then they told her this time she can't. And they also had a meeting with the teachers and told them that they may be deported back because of what's going on. And, you know, there are some people, Darius is there now. Yeah, he lives there now, Miss Margaret. Now, Miss Margaret don't leave me. And Joy been with me. But it's some people, and Marissa, but it's some people, you going to hear me not say their names. And so y'all know they gone. And I don't know how I feel when they come back when this stuff die down, because I may not feel the same way about them. But, what did you say? Certain countries have banned Americans. Okay, we read that. 44 said, being a politician is like driving a car. When you want to go forward, you put the car in D, and when you want to go backwards, you put the car in R. That's cute, Monique. So she was like, she hoped she don't. She said that she teach at a private school, and she said what she love about the private school. She said this is what's making her mad though, Miss Margaret. She said that in Mexico, people think all Mexicans look dark-skinned and black hair. So the parents was there and they allowed them to show their kids. But they're Mexicans with blonde hair and blue eyes. Born there, speak fluent Spanish. And she was like, but how do you don't want them in America, but y'all stay over here living? And Americans are in their country, and Americans are there illegal. And when they got into trouble, you fled to Mexico, another country, so they couldn't touch you. Then you insulting the Latin Americans. You changing the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America. You are changing New Mexico to New America. You are enjoying their beverages, their food, their culture. You come there on cruise ships. You come there on vacations, but you don't want none of them here. So she was like, they're very broken. The teachers are very broken over there. They have American people that's teaching their kids English, because America is not the number one country that's got the most black people. And they're not the number one country that speaks the most English. The number one country that's got the most black people is Spain, Brazil. 218 million black people live there because of the slave ships. The number one country that speaks more English than America is China. It's a requirement, it's mandatory, and they must learn it fluently. America is lazy. We don't make our kids teach another language. So therefore, it's not that they come here. Their kids are extremely smart because they're bilingual. And for your brain to separate and learn 2 and 3 different languages, 7 different languages is amazing. You're phenomenal. They're very crafty. They're artsy. And this one guy on TikTok said, give some Mexicans a job. Give a Mexican 1 month and you will have a whole house up. They'll have somebody doing the roof. They'll have somebody doing the driveway. They'll have somebody bricking the outside. They'll have somebody wiring it. They can do it all. Y'all, Mexicans did my kitchen. I hired Mexicans and Guatemalans. They did all my work. That's who did mine. My designer was from another country. Why? Because when I hired Americans, the builder that I hired, he kept putting off every week. I'm going to come. And then when he come out, oh, that's going to cost you money. That's going to cost you money. The Panama Canal is up for a new name. Yeah. And I ended up using them. So that's who did mine. And they're hard workers. And they're working and doing the job and they're not bothering nobody. Those fields, they were out there working those fields. They will work 2 or 3 jobs. They make the best tamales. Their food is amazing. Those burrito bombs you've been buying, that's because we done learned about the real authentic tacos and not ground beef tacos. We want their nachos, their salsa. We want their beer. We want all these things, their culture, their music, but we don't want them. And the thing about it, even down to Stinky Mickey, Muskie, they done used them. And now they found out that we got some stuff, we got some rights. They would be picking on us. That's why Muskie is trying to get 45, 47 to tear up the civil rights. But it ain't going to happen. There are some strong Republicans are standing on that. And there are some judges. 45, 47 got rid of every judge that went before. Now, you got to realize, he was found guilty. You got a sex offender, a rapist, a molester that's over your Pentagon. All these people that are in office are criminal and criminal-minded. And the reason why, you got to have people that ain't got no conscience to do the stuff that they trying to do. I wish we were back in 1985 and 86. I do. I wish we were back then. They want everything we have, but don't want us. Yeah. Who's a liar, Darlene? Who's a liar? Make it clear who you calling a liar. I just don't think it. I don't think a lot of Republicans like that. I find that hard to believe. You gonna sit up there and make a Twitter and tell us that you successful and that America needs you because you brought the cars here and Tesla here and you helping America. Baby, we don't need you. You can go on back to South Africa. We ain't got no dumb Republicans. We ain't got no dumb Democrats. You can go on back where you come from. You ain't a friend of America. You's a friend of 45, 47. Now, I don't like that. And that post that he put on Twitter day before yesterday was horrible. He cussed us out. He said blank us. I don't like that. Hey, the Bible says that everything's going to get worse before it gets better. It sure do. And that's yeah, you're right. Yeah. He can take that car. Let me tell you something about that car. I wouldn't want a Tesla. And anybody driving a Tesla know good and well what I'm talking about. When you first buy that car, they let that car do everything for you. Everything for you. They let that car do everything for you. The difference is, in order for you to keep all those perks, yes, you can turn it on and it will drive to you. But in order for you to keep all those perks, you got to renew everything on that car in order for you to have all those things that car do. And you got to pay for that. on a monthly basis. The thing of it is, Miss Tracey, they don't want to teach Black history because they'll find out more than they've been told the American history. Let me tell you something. I know that's what it is. Cindy Dorton said Tesla is an American company. Is it really? Who's behind it? Who's backing it? Who's got the money in it? And you got to pay for everything. My nephew got one. Do you drive one, Cindy? See, that's the problem. It ain't good to take money from everybody. My mama taught me that. All money ain't good money. And you ain't gonna call Americans dumb and stupid and that we need you. And you here on a visa in the leader's ear. And you got the upkeep on those things. The upkeep on them. Made in America. That's the only thing they doing is making them here. It's a foreign car made in America. Because God forbid, Joey said, God forbid if you got to replace the battery. And those cars, it costs more than a car. And the thing about it would get me is, I'd rather have a house. Same way with a Maybach. I'm not giving you $750 for no vehicle to take me where. Vehicles don't have no value. $750,000 to drive a Maybach. Baby, take me back. I like the 80s. Acid wash jeans. Take me to the 80s. I want to hear some Barry Manilow. I don't want this trash of music. I'm a music blood. Take me and let me hear some Cyndi Lauper. Let me hear some Boy George. Honey, what's going on right now? No, you can have it. Everybody was getting along. People weren't mad at each other. Folks wasn't fighting over nothing. Guantanamo Bay, what about that? Now he wants the immigrants to get locked up in Guantanamo because he's Hitler. I don't like that. You putting kids in compounds. And it's battery operated. Baby, give me a Ford F-150. Honey, go on somewhere with buy. Yes, give me some Motown. Some Southern Baptist song. Give me some. Give me some good music. Don't give me all this stuff now. Yeah, he's wanting dictatorship. And you see how hard he hit his chest and did that Hitler salute in our face? Muskie is causing these problems. That's a block of ice. I have to keep water. I live off of water and ginger ale. I wish they would offer us to keep some of them kids. My sister, I'm going to share this with y'all. A lot of the Mexican kids are withdrawing from their school. Smart and brilliant. And y'all know my nieces is part Mexican, right? Y'all done seen them, right? I have to pull myself together because I'm a crybaby. Teachers are hugging the kids, telling them, you smart. Don't forget where you come from, and you a good reader. My sister is over ESOL, English and Spanish and other language. And to know that these thriving young babies who are citizens are having to run so that they can not get their mommies and daddies. And that's why they're going into schools. And they're going into schools and the kids may be sick. You cannot revoke. There's no way in the world they can revoke that babies can be born here and be citizens. They can't do it. But to see them having to say goodbye to their kids so they not come. I don't know about y'all, but I can love outside my own. That's why I got my baby. I wish they just give them to somebody. Like place them in our homes so that they can keep going to school. But to put them in holding places, and they don't know. They say, might not come back to school no more. And they putting them in facilities and sleeping on cots. And they don't know if they'll meet their mommies and daddies. You know, if the mom and dad and them try to come and retrieve them, then they gonna be in trouble. I don't know. It's just too much for me. It's breaking my heart. I wish we had fostered them out, you know, and or they allow the older ones. Hopefully, some of them can become guardians of their siblings. I don't know. Black folks are hated because everybody knows African black folks are superior race who built America will do anything to keep and knock you down. Wanda Taylor Howard. I don't know. Right now, it shouldn't be about race. It should be about trying to get America back into some type of control because we're falling apart. If you have a heart for people, it's hard to see any race. It's so hard. And they leaving. They withdrawing from school because they got to. And the teachers are crying. My nieces are Mexican and black. I don't know. Like, I would love to take some babies in. I can make it work. I got another whole side of my house. I would love to take some babies in. Y'all know how big my sunroom is? I could set that thing up. I got a whole house in the back of me. 900 square feet. I could hook them up. I don't care what color they are. I don't care what. I can raise a white baby. I can raise any color baby. First of all, let's start off by saying babies don't need nothing but love. So you got to understand, something is wrong with America. You know, a black person can raise a white baby and a white person can raise a black baby. Because I can breastfeed. It's milk. Come out the same way. It don't matter. I would literally take them in. You think for a minute I'm finna let a white baby. Just say a white baby was out here or somebody placed them at my door. I'm going to take that baby in. Bathe that baby. Buy that baby clothes. Feed that baby. Love that baby. Kiss that baby. Nourish that baby. Show that baby love. That's what I'm going to do. I don't care. A baby didn't ask to come here. A more precious thing you can have. If you can do it to a dog, you ought to be able to do it. We got preferences in dogs. But I ain't finna be mean to one. I do not like to see people fight each other, let alone fight dogs. Hey, husband. You did? I'm on lie. I get like that too. Could you put me on about 6-8? Well, I'll do it too. They already know I'm a pissy little animal. It's all right. You just get. We gonna plant. Can you get me one of my big pots? I want to plant some potatoes. I got buds in there. He said he pissed on you outside in the grass. He couldn't make it in. I said, we just pissy little animals. I'll take them in. I'll be a good foster mama. Foster, probably to adoption. Baby, I want me a house full of different color people. I want some Mexicans, some Guatemalans. I want some Irishmen. I want some white ones. I want some Europeans. I want black. I want Africans. I want mixed babies. I would have me just a melting pot. I don't care, honey. Just give them all, and they will all be raised the same way. I would be mama in the same household. Oh, he know I cry over everything. It's bothering me. It's bothering me. Because kids are being hurt. It's bothering me now. That's why I told y'all it ain't good for me. And I need to stop, but I can't stop watching it. But I don't think we're supposed to pass through this barren land and not care. And I don't think that if I got something, I don't think I'm supposed to just not care. Let me get off of him. Because I done got that in my spirit now. And it's just getting to me. And now it's getting, hearing about something on the news, but not ISIS here. I don't like it. Mother Joyce, I want to come see you. I still want to come see you. I just want to hug on you. Because I know you lost your husband. I still think about all the people we lost last year. And this is just the first month. And it's people that was with me this time last year gone. Ron Ross is gone. So, Renee Luster gone. Finna be 2 years for my Trina Mac 10. Big Mo. It's so many gone that ain't gonna come back. But I met y'all on my page. I know you hurt when you come home. Take you some medicine. Tat said she'll be over tomorrow. She said Thursday or Friday. It's bothering me now that it is really teachers. I mean, you know how you see stuff on the news, but when you hear teachers telling you that their kids is hugging them and crying, and we all know somebody that's probably not supposed to be here. And to see them torn apart or running for their lives, sometimes it takes me back in my mind to think how slavery really had to be. Because they're running and hiding so that their kids don't be taken from them and they don't lose their mommy and daddy. That means you can't work. That means you got to lay low. So anyway, it's time for me to go now because I done got all up in my feelings. I done got to talking and thinking about children, and I wish I had a mansion. I would have had them all in tiny houses. I don't know. I just don't know. I just don't got enough money. Thank y'all for the stars and for the view. Share. I think I'm going to do something on how can we come together. I think we just need to talk about togetherness for a little while. I don't want to just talk about how can we come together? What can we do? What can we go and get? The Bible says nothing new under the sun. So we're going to do some tomatoes, potatoes from a bud, and we're going to watch it grow. And we're going to do our own little garden. I'm going to go get some stuff and get Eddie to set it up for me. And I'm going to plant those, and then we're going to figure out how to do stuff, and we'll make some. I'm going to have to make my own. It's going to take 6 months to a year, but we're going to make us some our own extracts, different ones, vanilla and coconut. I don't know which ones. I just don't know if I want to do lemon. I don't like lemon extract, but I do like vanilla. So you need to get you some, rum and some vodka, really, and get some vanilla bean, stuff like that. And we can do stuff like that and see if we can make it. But I love y'all, and say a prayer for me, and I in return for you. Please, my white people, don't leave me. I don't feel that way. I love everybody. And black people, come, let's reason together. Let's get through this together. Together we stand, divided we fall. And a house divided, it won't stand. Let's pray Muskie go back to his country. We don't need Muskie. So that we can all begin to heal here. Let him go back to South Africa so we can heal. He said he would heal our land if we did 4 steps. Who know the 4 steps? Let's heal our land. If you're proud to be an American, I like the way we live over here. You can't make America great again, but make us one. One nation, one God. Make us one. If we can just come together in unity, Lord, make us one. And Lord, get Muskie out of here. That's what I'm praying. Send Muskie away. Muskie is a fungus. Muskie is a virus. We need to get Muskie out of here. All right? I'm going to get off of here. I know I've been on here about 3 hours. I'll see y'all later. Shh. I'm going to go make me some tuna fish. And I'm going to eat it with some tater chips. Because that's all my stomach. I'm going to try the tuna. If I'm up in the midnight hour, if I'm up late, y'all want me to come back one night? I'll see y'all later, honeybees. Have a good night, okay? All right, I'm going to go.